you're watching the News Hour Agenda. I'm Padmaja Joshi. Today, even as 6 men were arrested for the murder of Harsha in Shivamogga in Karnataka, the PFI link was drawn to the murder yet again. From the head of the College Development Council to BJP MP Tejasvi Surya, all accused the organization, if not of direct involvement, then at least of fomenting an ideology of hate that has put opponents of the PFI consistently on the hit list.
The last 5-6 years and more than that, in almost a decade or so, radical Islamic terror is spreading its root in Karnataka. Radical Islamic outfits like PFI, KFD, SDPI, they're bringing their Kerala model of terror into Karnataka. It would be extremely wrong to treat this incident as a murder. This is not a murder for gain. This is not a murder for settling personal vendetta. This is an act of terror.
So what is happening in the state of Karnataka today is one side the SDPI, PFI, they are creating a lot of issues which are unnecessary, not needed by the common people. The other side the Sangha Parivar, especially all those militant fundamentalist organizations like Bajrang Dal and Vishwa Hindi Parishad. All these are working towards disharmony in the society because it suits them politically. They grow politically by polarizing the society. And we are very clear that you have to ban all that militant, violent, fundamentalist organizations.
You believe that there is the hand of some organizations behind this murder?
No, jihadi organizations are targeting the Hindu activists. The part of hijab I'm not telling because he was actively participating in the Hindu Sangatana as a Karyakarta. So they have targeted him.
You think that some organizations have incited
I told
the
you,
students?
PFI, CFI, SDPI.
Yeah. Okay.
That organization or the antisocial.
Right.
The man behind this.
यहाँ का जो पब्लिक है, यहाँ के जो मुस्लिम, हिंदूस और दूसरी कम्युनिटी के लोग पीसफुल लोग हैं. यहाँ का जो संघ परिवार है, यहाँ का जो बीजेपी है, वो रियॉट कर पॉलिटिकल गेन करना चाहता है. इसीलिए ये प्रोजित एक रियॉट किया है और इसके लिए जो जिम्मेदार जो लोग हैं, एमएलए, यहाँ के एमपी और यहाँ के जो पॉलिटिकल बीजेपी के लोग हैं, इनके ऊपर इंक्वायरी होनी चाहिए. इनका और वो जो मर्डरर्स जो अरेस्ट हुए हैं, उनका और इनका संबंध क्या है, इनको इंक्वायरी बैठना चाहिए, हम लोगों को नहीं है. ये जो पॉलिटिकल मर्डर है, ये टोटली एक अवाम का और मीडिया का ध्यान भटकाने के लिए किया गया एक बहुत बड़ी एक प्लान्ड एक रियॉट है.
In fact, now a group of Sufi clerics has carried out a Yalgar Yatra demanding a ban on the PFI. They are going across the country and have written to the centre as well. Their charges are that the PFI's ideology gives rise to separatism and the organization is single-handedly responsible for misleading and brainwashing the youth in India towards fundamentalism. So much so that after this Muslim group raised the demand of a PFI ban, even members of their family have come under attack only because they dared to speak up.
10 फरवरी 2022 को हम लोगों ने कानपुर से एक पैदल यात्रा शुरू की जो 19 तारीख यानी कल के दिन दिल्ली में आकर के समाप्त हो गई और उसी परिप्रेक्ष्य में हम लोग इस धरने को आयोजन कर रहे हैं. आज हम भारत सरकार से ये मांग करते हैं, केंद्रीय गृह मंत्रालय से ये मांग करते हैं कि पीएफआई को प्रतिबंधित किया जाए.
देश में तमाम ऐसी संस्थाएं चल रही हैं जो कट्टरवाद को बढ़ावा दे रही हैं. उसी में एक नाम है जिसका नाम पॉपुलर फ्रंट ऑफ इंडिया है और उसको प्रतिबंधित करने के लिए हम सब लोग यहाँ पर एक हुए हैं.
So at the end of the day, there are only two questions that remain, and questions which affect not just Harsha's family or affect what's happening in Karnataka, but for India as a country. Is it time to declare PFI a terrorist organization? And more importantly, is it also time to transfer the probe into the murder of Harsha to the NIA or a central agency?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP, joins us along with Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, and advocates Tauseef Ahmed and Mujibur Rahman. My first question, though, is to Sufi M. Kausar Hassan Majidi. He's the national president of Sufi Khanagah Association. कौसर साहब ये बताइए कि आप पीएफआई पे क्यों बैन मांग रहे हैं, क्योंकि जब भी इस बैन की मांग होती है, आप क्यों बैन मांग रहे हैं सूफी साहब?
देखिए, ऐसा है कि बैन हम इसलिए मांग रहे हैं कि ये जो पॉपुलर फ्रंट ऑफ इंडिया यानी पीएफआई जो है, ये एक चरमपंथी संस्था है जो तुर्की, पाकिस्तान और दूसरे विदेशी मुल्कों की सहायता से भारत के अंदर एक ऐसा निजाम कायम करना चाहती है जो लोकतांत्रिक व्यवस्था को समाप्त कर देना चाहती है। इनके यहाँ कोई ऐसी सोच नहीं है जो इंसानियत को फरोग देती हो। इनकी सोच इंसानियत मुखालिफ है और ये हिंदुस्तान में अलगाववाद और विखंडन को बढ़ाना चाहते हैं। इसलिए सूफी खान का एसोसिएशन इनको प्रतिबंधित करने की लगातार मांग उठा रही है।
पर कौसर साहब, बार बार जो भी ये मांग उठाता है वो ये कहा जाता है कि आप मुद्दे भटका रहे हैं।
इसमें मुद्दे की भटकाने की कोई बात ही नहीं है। हमारी सबकी ड्यूटी है, जब देश का संविधान हमको मौलिक अधिकार देता है तो साथ में हमको मौलिक कर्तव्यों के विषय में भी बताया जाता है। जैसे कि हमारा मौलिक अधिकार है कि समता का अधिकार, हमको समानता के रूप से रहने का अधिकार है, जीने का अधिकार है और धार्मिक स्वतंत्रता का अधिकार है। तो उसी तरह हमारा कर्तव्य भी है कि हम देश के प्रति वफादार हों और देश का विकास हो और देश में शांति व्यवस्था बनी रहे, उसके लिए हम प्रयास करें। केवल पॉपुलर फ्रंट ऑफ इंडिया ही क्या, जो भी ताकत मुल्क में विखंडन की बात करेगी हम उसका विरोध करेंगे।
तौसीफ अहमद, यहां पर एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, खुद मुस्लिम है, कह रहे हैं कि हम नहीं चाहते कि हमारे यूथ रेडिकलाइज हो, एंड वी हैव सीन दैट हैपन इन वेरियस पार्ट्स ऑफ द कंट्री।
I totally agree. You see, today the trend has become for such for these fringe organizations, and I don't want to name them because unless you have concrete proof, and police and administration, whether it is state government of Karnataka or the central government of Narendra Modi, they should come out and clarify if there are materials to show that these organizations, whether it is Popular Front or it is Bajrang Dal or any other organizations, if there are proof to show that they are involved in radicalizing the society, which is so apparent, then yes, they must be banned. Government cannot today continue to blame some organizations and yet cry as if they are not able to do anything.
मैं आपको रोकना चाहूंगी क्योंकि मैं जो जवाब आपसे मांग रही थी वो किसी सरकारी एलिगेशन का नहीं है। इट इज फ्रॉम अ डिफरेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। ये कह रहे हैं कि हमने देखा है कि हमारे ही कौम के बच्चे बिगड़ रहे हैं और वो बैन मांग रहे हैं।
Then it must be heard. That's what I'm saying. There is a demand to ban all fundamentalist organizations, all organizations which is responsible in radicalizing youth of our country, whether belonging to any community. Okay. You see what happened? The petitioners in Hijab Rao case, the petitioner's family was attacked. It is an attempt to intimidate the petitioner in Hijab Rao case when the matter is pending before the court. Who are these people behind the attack?
ओके, सूफी साहब, इससे पहले कि मैं संजू वर्मा के पास जाऊं, ये बताइए कि जो भी आप मांगे करते हैं उसका सबूत किधर है? बार बार बात सबूत पे आ जाती है। बहुत आसान है किसी को बोल देना कि ये फंडामेंटलिस्ट हैं, ये रेडिकल हैं, ये टेररिज्म की तरफ या रेडिकलिज्म की तरफ किसी को धकेल रहे हैं। सबूत किधर है?
सबूत की कोई कमी नहीं है। आप गूगल सर्च करेंगे, ये तो आप तो गूगल का जमाना है, कोई भी व्यक्ति ऐसे सबूत जो हमारी सूफी खान का एसोसिएशन ने कलेक्ट किए, वो सबूत कोई भी कलेक्ट कर सकता है कि वैचारिक बातों के नाम पर किसी का हाथ काट देना या केरल में कैंप पाए जाना, ये क्या सबूत पर्याप्त नहीं है? IHH जो
संगठन की बात कर रहे हैं, मुजीबुर रहमान हंस रहे हैं, आपका सारा सबूत गूगल पे है। मुजीबुर रहमान
नहीं, कोई हंसने की बात तो एक अलग बात है, कोई हंसता है, कोई रोने लगता है, अलग-अलग तरीके से। मैंने जनरल एक बात सबूत मेरे द्वारा मुहैया कराए जा चुके हैं और जिनको भी देखना है हमारी सूफी खान का एसोसिएशन के पेज पर जाकर के या मुझसे पर्सनली आकर के मिलने, मैं उनको सबूत अवेलेबल करा दूंगा। सबूतों की कोई कमी नहीं।
मुजीबुर रहमान,
I'm saying this guy should be the Home Minister of our state, where Home Ministry has failed to find out a single evidence against PFI. This guy has even uploaded all the evidences on Google.
Sanju Verma, everyone is asking for a demand, asking for a ban. In fact, members of parliament of your party have gone so far as to say that transfer such cases to the NIA, designate this organization a terror organization. What's stopping you? It shouldn't be a one-case outrage.
Padmaja, first and foremost, I welcome the a call given by the Sufi organization and the representative here, who made a lot of sense and said that PFI should be banned. Now I'll come straight to the point. Everybody's been on umpteen debates, and it's a legitimate question. That is, the BJP says on various debates that PFI, is it radical? Of course, yes. Has it been involved in more than 100-odd killings in Kerala, Karnataka, elsewhere? Yes. Then why is it that it has not been banned? The simple answer to that is this. And I will quote what Tushar Mehta, the Solicitor General, on behalf of the central government, said to the Supreme Court on the 27th and 28th of April 2021, while saying that Siddiqui Kappan should not be given bail. Siddiqui Kappan is innocent. He said that the central government is collecting rock-solid evidence. There is a lot of prima facie ammunition that is available with the central government, the Modi government in this case, and we are building a watertight case to ensure that the Popular Front of India and its affiliates, be it the Campus Front or the SDPI, are banned for good. And let me also add to that by saying that some state governments, be it Jharkhand, Kerala, Uttar Pradesh, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, what have you, have either banned them or are close to banning them and bringing the process to fruition. But I just, before ending, say one panelist here rightfully said that any fringe organization has no place in a democracy. But I'm tired of listening, and I'm going to, name people here, name organizations. I'm tired of listening to this false equivalence which is drawn between the Bajrang Dal and the PFI, between the RSS and the PFI. Let me tell you, be it a Kamlesh Tiwari, be it a Sachin Gopalan, be it a Chandrakant Sharma, be it, Rupesh Pandey, be it Ankit Sharma, be it Ankit Saxena, be it Dr. Pankaj Naran, all these killings were done by mobs that were radicalized Islamists in nature. Now you show me killing that has been done by Bajrang Dal. Point number two, when you draw false equivalence, don't equate a law and order situation with a situation that is akin to terror. PFI has been radically indoctrinating people over and over and over again. It's not a case of one swallow that maketh a summer.
No, if you are going to make that extrapolation, equally the question will be asked of you. You asked for one example of killing by somebody associated with Bajrang Dal, and the answer is in the killing of Subodh Singh, Inspector Subodh Singh in Bulandshahr. The main accused was a member of the Bajrang Dal. Now, equally can people say Bajrang Dal should also be designated an organization like that, like the PFI? Sanju Verma?
Yes. So, Padmaja, the case that you mentioned, it is not still clear whether he had tacit, implicit links with the Bajrang Dal or not. But like I said, one swallow does not a summer maketh. You will get me one example of Bajrang Dal. Chalo, let me give you the benefit of doubt. There are hundreds of cases. Kamlesh Tiwari, the Shaheen Bagh riot, where the likes of a Tahir Hussain. Now, there is document in the public domain that Tahir Hussain also had PFI and ISIS links. Look at the Bengaluru riot. Look at the case of Kishan Bharwad. There are umpteen cases. If you want to draw false equivalence between PFI and Bajrang Dal, you're actually doing great disservice. Because let me finish by saying one thing. Today there is a clear and present danger from one particular ideology. The name of that ideology is radical Islam. If you don't want to take cognizance of that, you're only putting future generations at peril.
Okay, Tehseen Poonawalla, there is an ideology which is spreading hate. It is being called out by the Sufi Khanaka Association, and the PFI is the face of that ideology.
At the onset, Padmaja, thank you so much for having me on the show, and good evening to all my fellow panelists. There are two very brief points I want to make. The Home Minister of Karnataka continues to be on record by saying that this particular death in Karnataka that happened in Shimoga, he comes from Shimoga, as is the ex-Chief Minister, has nothing to do with the hijab row. It is to do with some issues in the past, and yet on a national television, the BJP contradicts the Home Minister and keeps saying Islam is terror. I cannot debate, Padmaja. I'll leave the show.
Okay,
I don't
Sanju Verma, you had, please.
I am not going to
one
debate.
by one, please.
I had made
no
it
interruptions.
Absolutely clear.
Finish your point, yes.
I made it absolutely clear. This cannot be allowed and tolerated. And yet, time after time, on Times Now, the BJP... Yet, time after time on Times Now, the BJP spokesperson comes and makes points that contradict the Home Minister, and so do the MPs. That's fine. Now, every time that there is an election, I personally believe, and I agree with the gentleman from the Sufi Association, and I've said this on Times Now, that the PFI must be nationally banned. This is since 2018, 19, 20, on your shows, on Navika's show, on your colleague's show, and on Rahul's show, your colleagues. Why is it that the next union government doesn't do this? In July 2021... But
Sanju Verma just answered that. That Tushar Mehta in the Siddiq Kappan case is saying we will do it, we are gathering the evidence.
I'm exactly coming to that. On July 2021, the Honorable ASG in the Supreme Court, Tushar Mehta says, and I'm quoting Times of India, we are gathering the evidence. Since July 2021 till now, 2022, they haven't been able to ban the organization. You could have put in an interim ban. You could have done some sort, you know that this ideology is radicalizing the country. Look, why is this happening, Padmaja? I'm going to make a very grievous charge. I say that PFI should be banned, but PFI is hand in glove with the BJP, and I'll tell you why. Every time there is an election, the PFI comes out, there is some sort of...
But you cannot deny that Harsha is dead. It's not as if the BJP is resurrecting the PFI. Harsha is dead. Somebody killed him.
Somebody killed him. And every single time there's an election, there is BJP, PFI, and there is polarization, and the BJP gains from it. Why doesn't the BJP take a stand and ban this goddamn organization?
Sanju Verma.
Okay. Padmaja, I credited Tehseen at least with basic common sense. I know he's intellectually challenged, but to say that the PFI is being supported by the BJP is as trashy as it can get, as ridiculous as it can get. So Tehseen Poonawala, stop making a fool of yourself on national television. I now come straight to the point. Padmaja, hear me out. Padmaja, hear me out. The more important point is this, that unless there is a watertight case, Padmaja, you, I'm sure, are aware that for a brief period in Kerala, the PFI was banned. And after that, the Kerala High Court overturned that ban. Are there provisions under UAPA to ensure that PFI, the Karnataka Forum of Dignity, etc., and other radical Islamist organizations are banned? Yes. Is the government working on it? Yes. Will it be done sooner than later? Yes. Does the PFI have any links with BJP? No. And most importantly, who took the PFI political arm SDPI's help in fighting elections in Karnataka a few years back? The Congress. Rahul Gandhi supported PFI activist Siddiq Kappan saying, "Ye bekasur hai," which is the government that actually is tangoing with the PFI. It is the Karnataka government. Under Congress, H.D. Kumaraswamy became the chief minister and he was in alliance with the Congress. The first thing H.D. Kumaraswamy did after taking oath was to meet up with the SDPI bosses.
You know, the thing is, here's the thing with interim ban. Here's the thing with, demanding such things. And eventually when it happens, just by the way, in 2006, when the CB was banned, by the way, by the party that you support, Tehseen Poonawala, at the center, there were others, like the UP government, when Mulayam Singh Yadav was in power, who said, why are you banning the CME? This is only targeting of one community. And it has happened over and over and over.
But may I make one point?
Yes.
I agree with you. I absolutely am in agreement with you. I completely agree with you. Yet it was the Congress, and I have no qualms in saying, the Congress who I support and I voted for, that stood by its gun and banned the CME. They said that national interest is above anything else. And yet the BJP, please, you have to keep quiet, yeah? This cannot go this way on the show. We are on a show. This is a respectable show.
Okay, just a second. कौसर साहब, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती हूँ, क्या आपको लगता है राजनीति की वजह से ऐसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को संरक्षण मिलता है? कौन राजनीति करके इनको बचाता है?
बिल्कुल, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है कि ऐसे सारे संगठनों को जो भी प्रश्रय मिलता है, जो भी इनको रहनुमाई मिलती है, वो सियासी रस्साकशी की वजह से मिलती है। क्या ये सबूत काफी नहीं है कि एक ऐसा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो जाकिर नायक की हिमायत में जुलूस निकालता है, वो जाकिर नायक जिसको एक इस्लामिक रिपब्लिक बांग्लादेश बैन कर देता है, उस जाकिर नायक की हिमायत करने वाली पीएफआई को हम कैसे कबूल कर सकते हैं? ये बिल्कुल काबिल कबूल नहीं है। ऐसी पीएफआई क्या, पीएफआई जैसी कोई भी तंजीम जो हमारे मुल्क के एक जर्रे को भी नुकसान पहुंचा सकती हो, उसको फौरन ही बैन होना चाहिए।
और मुजीबुर रहमान, चीजें यहां तक खराब हो चुकी हैं कि एक छोटा सा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो कि अपनी मर्जी से कह रहा है कि हम अपनी आवाज उठाएंगे अगेंस्ट दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, उनके घरों पर हमला किया जा रहा है। क्या आप फिर भी कह रहे हैं कि किसी वायलेंस में पीएफआई का हाथ नहीं है? हर जगह सबूत की मांग की जाती है। ये एक सूफी खाना का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, उनके घरों पर भी हमला हो रहा है।
You can make any allegations against any organization, and it's very easy to target the organizations of which belongs to minorities particularly. And here I agree with Sanju that there is false equivalence between
मुजीब साहब, इसमें माइनॉरिटी मेजॉरिटी क्या है? कौसर साहब कोई मेजॉरिटी से तो है नहीं।
It's very easy.
उनके खुद के लोगों पे हमला हो रहा है।
Persecute the minorities. World is seeing how minorities are being persecuted in India. It's very
एक सेकंड कौसर साहब, एक और आर्ग्यूमेंट ये है कि जब माइनॉरिटीज का कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है उनको टारगेट किया जा रहा है, तभी बार बार पीएफआई का नाम है।
Everyone, yeah, because you are afraid of the popularity of the Popular Front of India.
Sir, nobody is afraid of their popularity. People are afraid of the effect that they are having. Kausar sahab,
you are afraid. No.
Nobody is afraid of their popularity.
You will never find RSS. You will never find PFI running training camp for military and army.
It is very strange because PFI training camps are found in Kerala.
Find RSS training.
Sir, कौसर साहब जिस गूगल की बात कर रहे हैं, आप भी थोड़ा सा गूगल करके आइए। पीएफआई के ट्रेनिंग कैंप्स ना सिर्फ ट्रेनिंग कैंप्स हैं, उनके बकायदा ट्रेनिंग कैंप्स के वीडियोस हैं केरला में जो कि चलते हैं। पर माइनॉरिटी को टारगेट करने की बात पे कौसर साहब आप बता दीजिए, आपके लोगों पे जो हमला हो रहा है वो क्या माइनॉरिटी नहीं है? कौसर साहब,
मैं इनको जवाब देना चाहता हूं, ये हिंदुस्तान ही एक ऐसा मुल्क है कि जहां पर माइनॉरिटी के नाम पर पीएफआई जैसे न जाने कितने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आज भी फल फूल रहे हैं। ये तो एक पीएफआई है जिसने आज किसी इंसान का कोई भी वजह हो उससे कत्ल कर दिया। इससे पहले भी तमाम कत्ल किए जा चुके हैं और एक नई स्कीम हिंदुस्तान के अंदर लाई जा रही है जो मनसब्बा नबियन फक्लहू के नाम से एक मजीद खून खराबे की तैयारी कर रही है। दूसरी बात यह है कि माइनॉरिटी मेजॉरिटी की बात कहां से आ गई? हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन तो सबको हक देता है, सबको राइट देता है। मुझे तो कभी ऐसा महसूस नहीं हुआ, बल्कि ये पीएफआई के लोगों ने खुद मेरा सर काटने की धमकी दी। हमारे नेशनल चेयरमैन मुफ्ती सैयद वसीम अशरफ साहब का सर काटने की धमकी दी। हमारे राष्ट्रीय कार्यकारी अध्यक्ष पीर सैयद खालिद नकील साहब के ऊपर हम उनके घर पे हमला कराया गया और उस वक्त कराया गया जब वो एजिटेशन कर रहे थे। आपको एजिटेशन करने का राइट है और हम अगर एजिटेशन करते हैं तो आप हमारे घरों में हमला करा देते हैं।
बताइए मुजीब साहब, ये माइनॉरिटी के ऊपर हमला नहीं देखेंगे आप?
गूगल, मौलाना साहब, should I found all those evidence on Google? You are just can make any sort of allegations.
Let's not trivialize
let me say it.
Sir, he is talking about
n number of allegations without any proof. You just go to the police. Don't you believe in the police system, in our constitution, in our law and order? Just go to the police if you have
घर पर हमला किया है, उसकी एफआईआर मौजूद है हमारे पास। एफआईआर नंबर 220/21। जूही लोगों ने हमारे घर पर हमला किया और एक बार नहीं कई बार हमला किया पीएफआई के लोगों ने। कितने सबूत आपको चाहिए?
ये बहुत अजीब बात है, ये बहुत अजीब बात है। अभी आप माइनॉरिटी पे हमले की बात कर रहे थे, यहाँ पे एक आदमी जब बैठ करके कह रहा है कि मैं मुसलमान हूं, मेरा सर काटने की धमकी दी है पीएफआई ने, तो आप उस बात पर हंस रहे हैं। आई डोंट नो हाउ दैट इज अलाउड। तहसीन पूनावाला, Tehseen Poonawala.
I just have two very quick points to make. As so far as the ghastly murder in Shimoga is concerned, why is the BJP and its MPs contradicting their own home minister? Number one. So why can't this case be transferred either to the CBI or the NIA? That's point number one. Point number two, as so far as the PFI is concerned, I am completely in agreement that this organization needs to be put under check. Okay. Why is the union government not acting when states that are in Congress rule?
You know, the ban can wait for later. Sanju Verma, last word. यहां पे सब लोग एक चीज पर पे यूनाइटेड हैं। एटलीस्ट स्टार्ट बाय मेकिंग एन एग्जांपल ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर केस, और इस केस को आप एनआईए को दे दीजिए।
Padmaja, I will also take just 30 seconds. I'm glad on your show everybody is in agreement that PFI should be banned, but I will just say, saying it on television is one thing, and the Ashok Gehlot government in Rajasthan recently allowed PFI to carry out a unity march in Kota. Rahul Gandhi goes and says, Siddiqui Kapar of the PFI is innocent. You allied with the PFI's political arm, SDPI in Karnataka elections. You allied with radical elements like Welfare Party of India. So, ये आपका ये हाल है हाथी के दांत खाने के और दिखाने के और
ओके आप हाथी के दांत को छोड़ दीजिए बट मेक एन एग्जांपल ऑफ पीपल हु आर अक्यूज नाउ ऑफ फोमेंटिंग लार्ज स्केल वायलेंस and worse, large-scale radicalism. Let's walk the talk on this. Let not PFI surface and then the outrage die down after every few months. Thank you very much, all gentlemen. खास तौर पर सूफी साहब आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए and संजू वर्मा for joining us.